Hey guys, welcome back to the Ghosty Girls.
Welcome. Sorry if I sound a little off. I'm having a tattoo done.
You are? I had no idea.
Yes, we are.
There's a Star Wars character in here too.
Yeah.
I love it.
We're doing something special today, doing something a little different.
Yeah, we're trying this. Hopefully it works. So we are at Self Care Tattoo Studio with the most beautiful girl and awesome person and amazing tattoo artist.
I'm Jay.
Hey girl.
Hi,
She's so
sweeties.
She's like, I'm Jay.
She is the best. And then we have the owner.
Hi, I'm Rob.
And our friend who is getting a tattoo done, which looks absolutely insane amazing, is
Troy.
Yeah, he's our
Hi.
new friend.
Yeah. We're besties. He told us all about how they get tattoos in prison. Not that he knows. It's his uncle.
You know, prison life fascinates me though. I'll watch the TikToks of people like how they make like pie and all kinds of different like casseroles by like mashing up Doritos.
Have you seen the Dorito burrito?
Yes, yeah.
That's great with the ramen noodles.
Yeah.
I kind of want to try it.
Yeah, and they make makeup, all kinds of stuff. Yeah. I saw one where they took a magazine and I guess they got Vaseline and they would rub the Vaseline on whatever color they wanted, and that's how they would make like eyeshadow and blush. Isn't that crazy?
That's cool. But
I
who are you
know.
trying to look good for, though?
I mean, myself.
So what are you getting tattooed?
In honor of the podcast, I am getting a knife, and it's really cute. It has like a bow on it and little bow hearts and a little skull.
Cute.
Yeah, it's gonna be boss.
I'm going to get a knife, too.
Yay!
Twinsies again.
Yay!
Okay, so in honor of getting tattoos while podcasting, which is a first for us, and we're going to talk about a couple of tattooed killers. So who is Wade Wilson, and why are all the trashy girls thirsty for his dick?
Oh my god! What an intro!
What I'm going to do is a bit of a short kind of timeline in hopes that people will see and be able to recognize red flags and kind of lead people the progression to the murders. So May 20th, 1994, Wade was born to teenage parents who could absolutely not care for him.
Aww.
They put him up for adoption, which was the right thing to do.
Right.
He was quickly adopted by Steve and Candace Wilson and was raised by them in Tallahassee, Florida. My research only found positive things to say about Steve and Candace. I know, they seemed like they really tried to give Wade the best life possible. He had everything he could ever want: home in the suburbs, parents who loved him, the privilege to play sports and go to a decent school.
Mm-hmm.
All in all, he had a pretty normal childhood until about the age of 13. It's when it all goes down. His parents saw a fast change in Wade as he began to act out. His parents thought it may be due to a few concussions he experienced while playing sports.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because you hear a lot of, especially serial killers, they have histories of concussions and head injuries, especially as children.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, who knows?
Very interesting.
But to add on top of the concussions, I will tell you that he had started at that point dabbling in drugs.
Well, that doesn't help either.
Does not. Concussions and drugs,
Yeah.
not a good combo.
Especially when you're young, because they do say that changes your brain chemistry too.
Really?
When you take drugs at a young age.
Did he know at this point that he was adopted? Or
Oh, that's a good question.
do you know? Or
So none of my research really said that. I do know, and I'll touch on this in a little bit, he does reach out to his adoptive father when he turned 18.
Oh.
So I assume that he did know he was adopted. I don't know, Jay. I'm sorry. So by the age of 16, they had checked him into a mental health facility using the Baker Act to try to help him.
Mm-hmm.
So they realized that enough stuff was going on mentally with him that he couldn't make his own decisions,
Right.
and they checked him into a facility, which I think is great that that's available.
That's interesting, though, that it applies to children. I didn't know that. I thought it was just adults.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, it allows family members to check someone into a mental health facility for a maximum of 72 hours.
Okay.
So kids or adults if they're not mentally stable enough to check themselves in or realize that they are
Right.
mentally disabled at that point.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Which is great.
Mm-hmm.
I read that he even stole his parents' car for 3 days and no one even knew where he was or where he went.
And this was around the age of 16?
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Teenage years.
You know, just, oh, sorry, that's my boot squeaking.
It's okay. I like
just
that.
teenage things.
Teenage things, stealing your parents. I did say that. So Newsweek actually interviewed a few people that he went to middle school and high school with. One woman said Wade was close with her boyfriend at the time, so he often hung out with them either at lunch or outside of the school. And Wade was actually the first person she had ever smoked the devil's lettuce with at the age of 14.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. A group of them would smoke in the woods almost every day before school, and although it was sometimes just her and Wade, she not once ever felt threatened. She basically said if he wasn't flirting with the girls, he was smoking in the bathroom and was even expelled from high school for catching a roll of toilet paper on fire.
That's funny.
I know. Another woman was in the same class as Wade in high school where she suspected him of stealing money from her book bag. This is a fun little story. Later, they began dating.
Oh, okay. Well,
standards, ladies. I mean, he is hot, but not. I can't say that on the podcast.
We'll address the elephant in the room. Wade is a very good-looking person. However, his actions make him very not good-looking.
Okay,
if that makes sense. I mean, you can separate the physical from the mental, like who you are as a person.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
he's got shark eyes, though. There's nothing in his eyes.
I feel like now he does, but I have seen pictures of him younger where he didn't, like, but you can definitely tell now that something is not right.
He could have been a little model.
Hey, he could have.
He's like 6 foot something too.
Yeah, he could have been a lot of things, and then he fucked up his life. I know.
Dumb.
It's a waste.
He stole money from her and then they started dating. It's a way to get a girl, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Romantic.
Yeah. As they were dating, he would often make fun of her and cheated on her repeatedly.
Ugh.
And she claims that Wade actually contacted her from prison.
Of course.
And after him being disrespectful to her over the phone, she stopped taking his phone calls.
Oh, so that's where she drew the line.
Yeah. I guess they kept in touch from middle school, high school, and then he was mean to her.
Wow, the bar was on the floor with that.
A man who also went to school with Wade spoke up as well and stated that Wade would do things just to do them. For example, he
had like no impulse control. Much.
No, he listened to the intrusive thoughts. They won.
Mm-hmm.
For example, he would break into a car, even if he didn't get anything out of the car, he would just smash a window to smash it. And the people that he hung around with, this man said, were often called like the troubled group. He naturally fit right in with them, obviously.
Yeah.
Just a little bit about people that went to school with him. I thought that was pretty interesting.
It is, yeah.
So in 2012, Wade turned 18 and reconnected with his biological father. Mm-hmm. Stephen is his name. His last name's hard, so I'm not even going to try it. And they remained in contact.
Oh my gosh,
after that.
I thought you meant his last name was hard. Like
no, his last name is.
It's too hard to pronounce. I got you.
It's down here somewhere. No, but that would be hysterical.
It would be.
Can
you imagine, Mr. Hard?
No, excuse me, Mr. Hard. Stephen Testaseca.
That's a fun last name.
Yeah. Wade and his biological father remained in contact. I mean, they weren't like besties or anything, but they remained in contact just to kind of get to know each other.
Okay.
He was in trouble with the law several times between 2012 and 2015. Mostly for petty theft. And in 2015, a woman actually accused Wade of kidnapping and sexually assaulting her in his car after a party.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That escalated like super quickly.
Super quick, right?
It's just casually like
petty theft. And sexual assault.
Wow.
He was acquitted by a Tallahassee jury due to lack of substantial evidence.
So I'm guessing like no DNA evidence, or maybe she didn't testify or something.
You're going to hear the police in Tallahassee sound fucking terrible.
That's kind of a running theme in Florida, though, honestly. Yeah. I hate to say it, but...
Do better, Florida. We love you. We're rooting for you. So 2018, Wade began dating Kelly Matthews and was soon after arrested for selling stolen property and grand theft.
Mm.
During his time in jail, his cellmate's name was Brian Winchester, and Brian was serving time because he was accused of helping his ex-lover murder her husband at the time.
Oh.
Mike Williams was his name.
Okay.
Her name was Denise Williams, just to put all that out there.
Mm-hmm.
So Brian asked Wade, his cellmate, to falsify evidence for him, but Wade had a better idea. He was like, hey, why don't I just kill Brian's ex-lover Denise and then everybody's win-win?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Taking the easy way out.
Yeah. It's just, commit murder. So Denise ultimately was sentenced to life for Mike's murder. I'm not sure what happened to Brian, but Wade didn't kill her. But his name was involved in this case. So that's when he first started really popping up on radar because of the story. So February 2019, Wade was released and went to live with his girlfriend, Kelly Matthews. They were doing amazing and great, and then all of a sudden they weren't. Dun, dun, dun. A few weeks after being out, Wade got back into drugs, specifically cocaine, which caused him clearly to go downhill fast.
Right.
Apparently, the shitbag stole and pawned Kelly's gun, laptop, PlayStation, and other items.
Ooh.
She was still with him, though. I can't. I know. So on February 18th, specifically, 2019, Kelly and Wade got into a huge argument. God only knows what for. Kelly claims that he then forced her into the trunk of her own car, bound her with her own clothes, and choked her.
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm. He would occasionally pull over from driving the car with her in the trunk, open the trunk, torture her, and sexually assault her.
And go ahead.
He would then, no, you're fine, go ahead.
I was going to say, and he wasn't put in prison for this?
Well, I'll get there.
Oh, God, okay.
He's police.
Okay.
Yeah, so one of the times he was slamming the trunk back to get back into the car to drive, he actually slammed it on Kelly's foot and broke her foot.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Holy shit.
Yeah. During the assault, one of the many assaults, Wade bit her in the face, chin, and also split her lip open. And there are photos supporting this claim online.
Oh, no.
I didn't see them. I don't want to see them. God bless her.
Oh, no.
So Wade arrived. He was on a mission during this trip. He arrived in the Florida Keys,
Okay.
which was about 3 hours away from where they started.
He drove her in a trunk for 3 hours?
Occasionally stopping to, yeah.
That's awful.
Mm-hmm. I know. So when he got to the Keys, he met up with another woman, let Kelly go, handed her the keys, and was like, bye, bitch.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess all of a sudden he had a change of heart and was like, oh, it's fine. You can just go home now. Yeah.
Okay.
I know. So Kelly, she actually did all the right things after Wade let her go. She called the cops, went to the hospital for a rape kit, had photos taken of her injuries, police reports, all the things. And she pressed charges. But the police lost the entire report, all the photos and everything. All of
Lost?
it. Lost it. Stupid. Yeah.
So, without all of that evidence, I guess they couldn't press charges? Or?
There wasn't any substantial evidence, so it was dismissed.
Oh,
because they didn't have the
God.
report.
If I was that girl's mother or father.
You are getting a tattoo of a knife right now, so choose words wisely.
That's I don't even have words.
Stupid. That's what it is. So Kelly still pressed charges for the stolen items that he pawned.
Okay.
In September 2019, he admitted to pawning those items and pled guilty. So he was allowed to use time served as credit and only had to go on probation. It also stated that another woman during this time also reported him for kidnapping and sexual assault. However, she decided not to press charges. This is not confirmed. It was just in a couple of different things that I read. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like she just pulled that out of her ass. Like he actually did kidnap someone before. So.
Right.
Yeah. I kind of believe her.
Yeah.
I mean, considering
his
past and everything. Yeah.
Same. But she didn't press charges. I don't know what happened, who, what, when, or why, but
Maybe he threatened her.
who knows?
Or sometimes victims just don't want to go through the hassle of it. Honestly, I mean, it's a lot, and then you have to testify against them.
You have to relive all of it.
It's traumatic. Yeah, a lot of people choose not to go through that process.
So July 2019, so a few months later, Wade was arrested and charged with battery. This is the start of what would finally land him in prison and on death row, which we know how I feel about that. October 7th, Wade decided to party with his girlfriend at the time, her name was Melissa, at a bar called Buddha Live, which is known for live music. He became fast friends with a rando guy at the bar named Jason, who offered for Wade to come party with him at his house. Right? Totally normal. Wade was like, yeah, bro, let's do this. Let's go party.
Oh, Jesus.
So Wade went up to Melissa and was like, hey, we're going to go to Jason's house. We're like BFFs now. And
it reminds me of like Erica and BJ Seifert, where they just made friends with that couple. And then, yeah. It's crazy.
But luckily, Melissa was like, fuck you, Wade. I'm not going to some rando's house now. And he was like, okay, bye. Took her car, stole her car to go to this guy's house. Yeah. So at this time, I don't know if it was at the Buddha or if it was with his new best friend, he met Christine Melton and her friend Stephanie Sailors. After hanging out with Christine and Stephanie, Wade went back with them to Christine's home to continue the party. So I guess they must have been at his friend's house. His new friend. What was his name?
Guys, don't invite random people to your house that you don't know.
Agreed. But yeah, he went back to Christine's house because she wanted that dick. Stephanie eventually went home for the evening, and Wade spent the night with Christine.
Okay.
Christine, in the early morning hours, or the very late evening hours, I'm not sure, was strangled to death by Wade, who then wrapped her up in a bunch of blankets because he couldn't move her into the car. Then he stole her car and left Melissa's there because Melissa's was too hard to drive because it was a manual. What a bitch. After taking Christine's car, he drove to see his then girlfriend, Melissa, and he arrived at her place of business where, of course, an argument ensued. She was like, where's my car? Dude, where's my car?
No, literally, though. Where's my car?
Yeah. So they fought over that, and Wade got pissed and tried to pull Melissa into the car. She was able to, I think she said she planked, so she just like starfished.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So he wasn't able to get her in. So he, I guess, pushed her back, slammed the door on her skirt, which then ripped off of her. I can't.
No.
I know. She was able to get away, though, and she ran back into work.
And all this was in front of her employer? That sucks.
Employer. In front of the office building, I believe.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah. So the police, of course, were called and made aware of the situation. So being denied by his girlfriend, Wade drove off, and during his drive, he saw Diane Ruiz walking on her way to work. He pulled over, and apparently he's like super charming. He pretended to ask her for directions and convinced her he would drop her off at work since that is the direction that he was going in. So Diane, of course, thinking Wade was purely innocent, got in the car.
And plus, he's good looking. He's a good looking guy.
Yeah, he's a good looking dude.
And you don't know that he's crazy. So.
Yeah, he didn't have the face tattoos yet.
Right.
So Wade pulled into an empty lot, proceeded to try to strangle Diane. Reports differ here. So one report I read said that she was able to get out of the car, and then he ran her over. Another report said he strangled her to the point where he thought she was dead and then realized she was still breathing, so he pulled her out of the car.
Okay.
Either way, she ends up out of the car. Wade, being the asshole that he is, ran her over more than 20 times with Christine's car.
Oh my God.
I know. I really didn't want to add this part in, but I think,
Well, it's important to understand how much of a monster this person is. Like, to run over someone repeatedly 20 times, that's a lot.
Well, get ready for what he said to his dad. Well, he says this down the line. I'll get to that point. He said, quote, I wanted to make her look like spaghetti.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there's that.
Oh, boy.
I know. I can't.
That's awful.
Yeah. So we're still on October 7th, right? After leaving Diane in a field to be found 3 days later by vultures circling the area,
Oh my God.
Wade found an abandoned house that he broke into and hid out in.
Okay.
So after he was like comfortable breaking into this house, he called his birth dad. He asked his father for help after telling him he did something bad and he couldn't take it back.
So at this point, were they looking for him, or did they not know what happened to that girl?
They haven't found anybody yet at this point.
Wow. Okay.
So he's like in hiding, like, oh crap, what did I do?
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, he was very vague about what he had done when speaking to his dad, but after several calls, he admitted he killed a girl by running her over. Wade then asked his dad to call him an Uber to get him out of town.
Right.
And Wade's dad was like, yeah, sure, I'm going to call you an Uber. I need to know where you are.
I'm going to call you an Uber in a cop car.
That's just what he did, too. God bless them. So Steve called Wade a ride in the paddy wagon instead of the Uber. In later interviews and in court, Steve claimed that Wade did not sound remorseful at all
Oh,
for
I'm sure
anything.
he didn't. I mean, he made that disgusting comment about making her look like spaghetti, so I can't imagine a world where he would feel any kind of remorse.
No, gross. So they did get him at that house. They arrested him.
Okay.
I'm going to fast forward to September 30th. He is in custody. He's in prison. Wade and his cellmate were charged with criminal mischief for conspiring an escape.
Oh, wow.
They apparently are super smart. Just kidding. They made not only other prisoners, but also staff aware that they had a ride set up for them at 2 a.m. outside of the jail.
Okay, well, that's just fucking stupid.
Right? That's why I said they're super smart. Wink, wink.
Why would you do? Hey, guys, just to let you know, I'm not going to be here tomorrow.
Hey, guys, I'm being picked up at 2 a.m. Just
Yeah.
breaking out of this fucking place. So dumb. So upon inspection of their cell, because he's a fucking idiot, they found that the window was tampered with. Ultimately, though, the joke would have been on Wade because his big ass wouldn't have been able to fit through that window. So
I was going to say, I can't imagine that they would
No.
put windows that you'd actually be able to fit out
no,
of.
what a dumbass. I can't. So April 20th, Wade and other inmates were working to bring meth, cigarettes, and other banned items into prison. The items were found at the jail in a grocery bag. I can't. That's
In a grocery
yeah.
bag.
I'm just skimming over that one. So June 12th, Wade was found guilty by the jury for the murders of Christine Melton and Diane Ruiz. The same jury recommended that he receive the death penalty a few weeks later on June 25th.
Okay.
Not to be killed on June 25th. But
Yeah, I got
you. Get it.
Yeah.
Judge,
He's going to spend a long time on death row. Like,
probably.
It's not.
I
I
hate
mean,
that.
Florida does try to expedite things like Texas does as
Mhm.
well, but he's still going to sit there for probably at least a decade, I would think.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's not
I
a
know.
quick process, especially like you have to exhaust all your appeals and all that stuff.
Yeah. So dumb. So Judge Nicholas Thompson took the jury's suggestion and sentenced Wade to death on August 27th. Currently, Wade is sitting in prison and being manipulated by women who say that they have money and they want to help him because he's an idiot.
Right.
A woman named Jessie actually reached out to Wade in jail. They started dating over the phone, and now they're engaged, and she is now his power of attorney. No. She is now his power of attorney and controls all of his finances.
Wow. All of his finances, like he has so many assets.
There is a YouTube channel called, I think it's called Phone Calls from Jail.
Yeah.
And there are a bajillion calls.
I heard one, and correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there a German woman who said that she was going to put up her house for him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she said that she sold her house and she was moving to Florida to be closer to him.
Right.
And she was going to give him all the money from the sale of her house and her car in Germany, and that she had over $200,000.
Seems legit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cute. I like it.
Oh my God, our tattoo's done and it looks amazing.
Thanks. It's so cute. I love it.
I love it too.
It looks really good with it, like because it ties in with
It's
Mars.
perfect.
Yeah. Love it.
Jay,
Good
you're so
job.
talented.
Yay, thank you. I
Yes.
did my best.
Yes, queen.
You did great.
Thank you.
All right, so that's long story long. on Wade Wilson and his
Yay.
face tattoos since we're getting tattoos.
Okay, so do you know Jelly Roll? Did you hear all that?
Yeah.
I want to hear it from you.
Okay, all I know, I don't know like all the specifics, but I heard that his wife, or are they married?
Bunny XL.
Bunny, yeah.
Love her.
Okay, let's say they're married, whatever, or
Yeah.
girlfriend. Bunny has her own podcast, and she was trying so hard to get him on her podcast, and then all these girls were like canceling her or whatever because, like, I don't know, why would you want some murderer on your podcast? And she was like, I don't know, raving about him. That's all I know. But
So I know a small tidbit about that too, is they were communicating because she did want him on the podcast, and he ended up giving her number out to like 5 different people. She had randos calling her because he had given people her number. I know. And I love her. I think she is hysterical. And she seems like a genuine soul. You know what I mean?
But like, why was she trying to have, like, what was her, because I don't know anything, like, what was her purpose? Just to, like,
I don't
have him just talk about murdering these women?
Well,
you know?
honestly,
Yeah, I don't love the fact that she was trying to get him more publicity on her podcast. Like, that seems very, like, clout chasing to me.
Because, like,
I just-
women were already raving enough about how attractive he is. So
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
in my mind, I would like to think that she was going to have him on to show what a fucking idiot he is. Like, he
Okay.
genuinely thinks he's getting out of prison. He genuinely thinks he's going to be like a star.
yeah, okay.
And like this big deal and like all this other stuff. So like in my mind, again, my hopes were that she was just going to try to call him out for who he is. But I don't know. I hope they don't cancel her because I like her.
I still hear stuff about her, so I don't.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I think she'll be around for a while.
You should.
Yeah.
She's cute.
I've never listened to any of her podcasts or anything. I've like, if I'm scrolling through Facebook or whatever, I'll see like a TMZ article, like, but other than that, I don't.
Her and Jelly Roll,
Bean.
Love him. His new song's good.
I haven't heard it.
Bryden, fuck you, Bryden. Bryden made me listen to it, and I loved it.
So I'm weird. I don't really listen to new music. I tend to listen to older stuff and like, I want to say classic rock, but like
Now it's
rock
oldies.
from our era is now classic rock. So it's like, I don't know. I have Sirius XM and I'm always listening to the stations with older stuff.
Nirvana.
Yeah, that or like older like metal songs or whatever. Like I just am not really into like the current music scene.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'm lame.
Not at all. It's amazing. So I have to tell you real quick because I said the word Nirvana and now I have to tell you the story whether I keep it in or not. I had Jackson and his friend at Target the other day, and we go into like the Pokemon section, which is by like the records and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, there was a Nirvana album, the one with the naked baby.
Oh god.
So Jackson and his friend were running, and they both dead stopped, looked at each
I
other.
bet they did.
Looked at the album cover, looked at each other again, both pointed at the same time, and we're like, "It's a naked baby!" And I was like, "Oh my god, okay."
Yeah,
They were like, "What? Why is there a naked baby?" And I'm like, "Guys, I don't know. Let me just."
he actually
And I
tried to
moved it.
sue for that too because he said that he didn't. Obviously, he was a baby, so he couldn't give consent to his nude photos being taken.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Aw.
I know. It's crazy.
I know,
Crazy
but
story.
it was funny. Your tattoo looks so good.
Thank you. Yeah, I really like it.
Yay!
I love when they're all like fresh and new.
I know, it looks awesome. So bright and vibrant. I'm gonna say thank you guys so much for listening to
Yes, thank you.
Shitbag Wade Wilson.
I'm sure there'll probably be updates too because this is kind of like an ongoing thing. And
Yeah. I would
Ugh.
love to do a couple episodes where we just listen to his calls from prison and commentary.
those are something else.
Yeah. Jay, you want to do that with us? Listen to his calls from prison and comment on them?
yes.
Yeah.
He's an idiot.
Yeah, pretty much.
Speaking of guys in jail with face tattoos, have you heard of Jamie Osuna?
I have not.
Have you?
No, I have not.
So this guy's legit pure evil. He's the one that has like, I'm sure you've seen a picture at some point. He has like a Joker smile tattooed on his face.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys got to see a picture before I start talking about him.
Jamie Osuna. Oh wow. Yeah, he kind of gives me like Charles Manson vibes a little bit, like that, just that facial expression.
Yeah, he's got a pentagram on his forehead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. For anyone out there who has not seen a picture of this guy, Google him and look at a picture before we start. If you're driving, don't do it. Just Google it when you can. Yeah, so that's who we're talking about. So Jamie was born on March 7th, 1988 in Bakersfield, California, and had at least one older stepbrother.
Okay.
He had a terrible start to life, God bless him. First of all, I want to point out that Bakersfield is a just all-around terrible place to live. It's very, very high crime, high murder,
Where is Bakersfield?
high drug, California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Bakersfield. Did I say Bakersville?
Bakersfield.
I did, didn't I?
I don't think so. No, you said Bakersfield.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't, you Bakersfield.
Yeah.
Before Jamie was even born, his father kicked his mother in the stomach while he was still in the womb. It caused possible brain damage and also caused his earlobe to not properly develop. He's got like a cleft earlobe if you look at him.
Oh my God.
Yeah, luckily his mother left his father after that.
Okay, I see. Yeah, I see with his ear.
Mm-hmm.
That's a shame.
So shortly after leaving Jamie's father, Michelle met a man named Jeff, and they became quickly involved. Jeff was also a shitbag and wanted nothing to do with Michelle's kids. He just wanted Michelle.
Ugh.
I know. So he treated the kids like absolute garbage and would physically and emotionally abuse both boys.
Yeah, that'll do it too.
Mm-hmm. For some reason, Michelle decided it would be a great idea to have more kids with Jeff. Yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm. So she got pregnant. So after they had a few kids, due to the continued abuse, Jamie's brother moved out and moved in with his grandparents.
Okay.
Jamie, unfortunately, was not allowed to move in with his grandparents because his grandfather didn't like him.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And he was like 5 or 6 at this time. How can you not like a toddler? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. God bless him.
It sounds like this guy didn't really have a chance, to be honest.
It starts out really bad. It gets worse too.
Hmm.
So it is reported that Jeff was a decent father to his actual kids. However, he would beat and starve Jamie.
Jesus.
I know. So the whole family would eat at the dinner table except for Jamie, who would not be fed. And then when the family was done eating, they would put a plate on the ground and he would have to eat his dinner on the ground.
Oh my God.
I know. He was even made to sleep outside in the rain or when it was cold.
So they literally treated him like a dog.
Literally. And it traumatized him. I mean, as it would traumatize anyone.
That's a shame.
I know. But that trauma was in the form of acting out. So some of this acting out was on family pets, which I'm not going to go into because I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'll talk about murder all day, but not animals.
Yeah.
Not doing it. So finally the police were called one day when Jeff had strapped Jamie to a tree and was beating him with a belt. It actually caused so much damage that he had to go to the hospital. Not Jeff, Jamie had to go to the hospital. At this point, Jamie is in his early teens and has already had several run-ins with the law, and some reports say he was involved with a local gang. Not shocking. Mm-hmm. He served 4 years in juvie for stabbing another kid.
Oh, wow.
But on a good note, Jeff died of a heart attack while he was in juvie, so he didn't have to deal with Jeff's abuse after he got out.
Okay, well.
So Jamie
silver lining.
Silver lining, you got it. So Jamie was released at the age of 19 and went straight back to his old ways and bad habits, of course. And in 2008, he attended a house party. Now, the woman whose house it was, we're going to call her Jane, was dancing with a young man. And Jane's son was upset because this man was younger.
Okay.
He asked everyone around to scare off the person who was dancing with Jane. And Jamie happily accepted the challenge.
Oh, God.
Yep. He had no problem walking up to this guy, saying a few words that scared him, and then stabbed him.
What? Okay.
Totally normal. Actually, this is like a double thing because we're both getting knives on us. And
I know.
You know, this guy stabs a lot.
This guy stabs a lot.
So Jane thought that it was super hot. I'm assuming, because she contacted him while he was in prison for said stabbing.
Oh,
I
can't
know.
with these people.
I know. They kept in contact, and when he was released, Jane was the one who picked him up from jail. She was shocked. I know. She was shocked to see him because that was the beginning of his facial tattoos.
Oh, okay.
So at that point, he got the markings over his eyes, like the Joker, and then the Joker smile tattooed kind of on his cheeks on the other side of his lips.
So she picked him up and was like, "Oh, hey,
Your face looks
ah,
terrible.
you look great.
I love it." So yeah, the smile tattoo on his cheeks. I wrote in here, not his butt cheeks, just so you would be sure. So stupid. In my mind, that was going to be funny.
Not those cheeks.
Not those cheeks. His face cheeks. Anyhow, Jane said that she hated the tattoos. However, felt such a strong connection to Jamie that she let it go. She was just like, okay, I'll just deal with this, I guess.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, she was okay with him stabbing someone, so I can see how you could overlook that as well.
Yeah. That same day after she picked him up, they went right to a hotel.
Ew.
I know.
Sorry, I don't.
Mm-mm.
I'm sure they went to one that was like just like a really seedy one that you could like rent out by the hour.
I was gonna say that. Yeah. Motel 6.
Yeah.
Probably worse than a Motel 6. Actually,
probably.
There's a hotel in here at some point. I'll tell you. That's probably the one they went to. It's pretty nasty.
Oh, great.
So Jane thought that little hookup would be the end, and that they both just kind of needed to get it off of their chest or out of their system.
Mm-hmm.
The Joker was on her, though. I didn't say that right.
Oh, that was so punny.
It was supposed to be. The Joker was on her, though, because she found out that one night stand led to her being pregnant.
Stop. God. These fucking people.
I can't make this shit up. They decided to try to make it work for the baby because Jamie was super elated to actually be a father. So he moved in and asked Jane to marry him shortly after.
Wow.
Yeah, they were married within 3 months.
Wow. What could go wrong?
Absolutely everything. Jane had a super rough pregnancy, and at first, Jamie was there doting on her, pampering her, like giving her everything she needed. But while she was in her 3rd trimester, Jamie started his shit back up and began to abuse Jane.
Yeah, well, that's the number one cause of death for pregnant women.
Mm-hmm.
I am pretty sure is domestic violence.
Why?
For whatever reason, when women get pregnant, their partners, like if they already have abusive tendencies, they tend to just ramp it up. I don't know if it's because the women are in a state where they are not as well equipped to defend themselves because they are pregnant.
Or maybe they can't do as much to dote on that man.
Yeah.
And
because it's not about them anymore. Now it's about the baby, and a lot of narcissistic men can't handle that. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of times when mistreatment of women begins, because,
or they're just jealous.
That's also very common.
At one point, he pushed her over and she broke a rib.
While pregnant?
Yes.
Oof.
Yep. He was then, for that, put back in jail, and Jane ended up giving birth alone. She got a restraining order against him.
Good.
But then she dropped it and decided to give him another chance.
Bad.
Yeah, I know. He just really convinced her that he really wanted to try to be a dad. Enter meth.
Oh, Jesus.
So Jamie used meth and other drugs to essentially numb himself, and it turned him into an even bigger monster.
As meth does.
Mm-hmm. He again attacked Jane both mentally and physically, and even stole her mother's ashes, never returning them. I know your face. Yeah. So
that's okay.
Yeah, that's like a low.
That's Oh, that looks good.
That's perfect.
I love
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah,
I love it.
I love that.
My tattoo's done.
It looks like a Halloween knife. I love it.
I love it too. So Jane finally had enough when he involved the kids and kicked him out. So essentially, he pushed her middle son, I think, not his son, but his stepson, off of the bed.
So he basically turned into his father, pretty much.
Yeah. Essentially, yeah, his stepdad.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, his stepdad.
Yeah. And she was like, no, you can mess with me all you want, but not my kids. And she
Good.
left him.
Good.
So he continued to harass her, of course, and called her and would like randomly show up. So she had another restraining order. But eventually he was so angry that he just stopped calling her. He just stopped.
Okay. Well, that's, I mean, good.
Mm-hmm. And this was around November.
Okay.
So November 8th, 2011, Jamie met a woman named Yvette Pina.
Okay.
She had also had a very tough childhood, which led to heavy drug use. Yvette was a mother to 6 children, helped raise her siblings as well. She was very loved, but unfortunately fell down the wrong path.
Mm-hmm.
At this point in her life, she was living at the El Morocco Hotel, which was like the lowest of the low. It was a bad place. We all know who she met and decided to party with at this point. It was Jamie. I couldn't find how they came to meet or if they had already known each other, but Jamie was with Yvette in her room when he sexually assaulted her, tortured her, and eventually killed her.
Mm.
She was found with sharp objects sticking out of her back.
Oh.
And there's a lot more details that I'm not even going to go into because it's brutal. But her body was essentially found with 57 stab wounds.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Jamie, sorry I said that weird. Jamie called Jane and told her what he had done and threatened her that she was next.
Oh my God.
I know. So she immediately called the cops and reported him and the murder, where it was at and everything, but they did nothing. They didn't believe her. They didn't pursue it. And then Jamie was found 5 days later. Not Jamie, I'm sorry. Yvette was found 5 days later in that hotel room by an exterminator.
That's
I know.
Awful.
Yeah, that was on November 13th. They, of course, interrogated Jane because she had called 5 days earlier.
And she was like, oh, hey, believe me now?
Yeah, she's like, come on, I already told you who did it. That led them to Jamie, and he was tracked down and arrested at his great-grandparents' house on November 18th, 2011. He was placed in a high-security facility called Laredo Detention Facilities. That took me a minute. Laredo. He began cutting himself on his forearms and also along his tattoo on his face.
Like the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And began getting more tattoos on his face and body.
Mm-hmm.
Hence the picture that you see and that anyone can Google, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So January 2012, Jamie was accused of being too loud by another inmate. He had a tomahawk type of shank and attacked that inmate. So apparently they get razors to shave their face.
Yeah.
So he took the razor out and somehow attached it to like a pen or something. So it was like a little tomahawk. So he attacked this other inmate and cut him 5 times. And this other inmate, what they say, was like double his size.
Oh, shit.
Because he's only 5'6". Jamie's 5'6". So this other inmate was giant. So the other inmate, because of his size, was able to take Jamie down and then felt like warm stuff on his face and realized that he had been cut. And he had to get 67 stitches on his face, neck, and arm.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So that was a brutal attack by Jamie. I mean, he literally was he was going for blood. He was trying to kill him.
Yeah.
Jamie then began using his own blood after he was put back in his cell to write on his walls. He drew like pentagrams and that type of thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people that walked into his cell room after that point said you could literally like feel the evil.
I'm sure.
You could feel the negative and the evil and the bad. He was then transferred to a max security prison, and he was in his cell for about 23 hours a day, and he would act out, of course, as often as possible, even sometimes flooding his cell. Ask me how? I don't know.
Probably, I guess, like stopping up the toilet, maybe?
Gross.
Yeah, that was gross.
So somehow he continued to get facial tattoos. I don't know how. He was in his cell for 23 hours. I don't know.
Did he do them to himself?
I have no idea.
He must have had to. Wow.
Do they even have mirrors?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Unless maybe he like used, like if there something was like stainless steel, he could have saw his reflection in that.
I don't know. I don't know. But with that, he began to call himself the man of 1,000 faces. After 5 years in jail and pleading not guilty, it was finally time for trial in Yvette's murder. Being the dick that he is, he decided to then take the deal. During sentencing, Yvette's family was allowed to give statements, and the entire time, Jamie was smirking, waving, disagreeing, and being as disrespectful as he could.
Man.
So those are the pictures that you see of him, like yawning and like doing that little like
Gross.
finger wave. On May 15th, 2017, he was sentenced to life in prison without parole.
Yeah, because California doesn't have death penalty.
Or do they?
Really? They do?
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay. I was going to say California is pretty liberal, so I don't think they have the death penalty.
They you'll see later on, like they can motion for it.
Oh,
But I don't know exactly what that entails.
okay.
So
okay.
I'll tell you what
I'll
I
have to
found
look
out.
into that.
Yeah. It sounds like the end, right? He's in jail.
Oh Jesus, it's not.
There's more. He was moved to Corcoran State
Okay.
Prison. Does that sound right?
Mhm.
Which has a reputation of being absolutely terrible.
Great.
It has housed some of the nation's most notorious killers. People that work there say that it smells, it's bad, it's just gross.
I love that for him then.
Same. And he was placed in the highest security area and was not allowed any contact with other inmates at all. So 2 years went by, and on March 8th, 2019, Jamie was given a cellmate.
Oh God, that's an awful idea.
Stupid. His name was Luis Romero, and he was a convicted killer. He was close to being paroled.
Yeah.
I
wonder if that's why they put him in there.
I mean, there's a lot of conspiracy theories to this. So Jamie immediately threw a sheet over the window and attacked Luis. And the guards are supposed to check on them every hour. And they wrote down that they saw him alive. So nobody even knows, of course they were faked.
They did that
guards
shit on
weren't doing
purpose.
shit.
Yeah.
So he immediately attacked Luis. Like I said, he murdered his cellmate in under 24 hours of being housed with him. He started by removing his eye, took his lung out, chopped off his fingers while he was still alive, and then decapitated him. He did all of this with a razor.
In a jail cell?
In a jail cell.
And they were supposed to be watching?
I don't know. Pieces of intestines were hanging from the light fixture.
Stop it now.
I won't. This is too much. And Jamie made himself a little jewel. He used a piece of intestine, hung body parts from it, and wore it as a necklace.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No. There are also reports that he made a sandwich with the body parts and ate half of it, but I only saw that in one report, so I don't know how true that is.
My God.
I know.
I'm laughing because I'm uncomfortable.
I know. Lewis's blood was used to paint his cell, and the guards didn't see or notice that any of this happened.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. It was brutal. Ugh. So 2021, Jamie was found mentally incompetent to stand trial. In 2023, he was then found able to stand trial. He is facing charges not only for murder, but also weapon possession, mayhem, and torture. He is a rare case in that he is now facing the death penalty because his crime against Luis was so brutal.
I'm going to have to look into that, because I didn't know that. Very interesting.
It is. I mean, that's all I could find, but I'd love to know what happened or when the trial date is set so I can follow it. So if you can find anything, let me know.
Yeah, I will.
And you already know how I feel about the death penalty. And this guy has been deemed no chance for rehabilitation. And also, in a conversation with his ex-wife, she quoted him saying he didn't want to die. And that's why he stalled the last trial. So I think the best punishment for him would be, for him to face that. So those two were heavy, Wade Wilson and Jamie. That's what I got. But
that is crazy.
If I can, I'd like to leave on a positive note and remember the victims, if I can. So Christine Melton was 35 years old when Wade took her life. She was a cat lover, which I love, and a great friend. Everyone that knew her loved her and said that she was kind, loving, and very quick-witted. Diane Ruiz was 43 years old when Wade took her life. She was a mother to two sons who were 19 and 29. She was beyond loyal and never missed a day at work. She worked as a bartender, and her coworkers all said that she was the heartbeat of the bar who had an amazingly loud and contagious laugh. Yvette Pena was a mother to 6 children and considered a mother figure by many of her siblings. She loved Halloween and the holiday season, and her family says that she was very giving. She would have nothing but would still find a way to give. She was very loved by all that knew her. Luis Romero murdered his lover with a hammer after she tried to call off their affair, so I don't have a lot of positives on him. But I guess the fact he didn't get out of jail maybe is positive.
Yeah, they did that on purpose.
I think they
like you
probably did.
cannot put something in with that guy and think
Nope.
somebody else in with that guy and think that it'll be fine. They'll
Yeah.
be friends.
Yeah, that's all I got. That was my
That was really good.
Tattoo Face Killers.
You
for
did a
Tattoo
good
Day.
job.
Thanks.
I enjoyed both of those.
I tried. Jay, what do you think?
She
stopped listening an hour ago.
She's like, I'm actually trying to
I
do
won't lie,
fucking
I'm
work
sorry.
here.
Everyone come get tattooed. I'll kiss you.
Ooh, she's hot too. Watch out.
Look at that
We'll throw
offer.
a picture up.
Yeah.
No, seriously, Jay, your work is amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And
she's
thank you
awesome.
for letting us do this in here. I know it was quite annoying for you guys.
Yeah,
It
the
was so
studio
fun.
is great. It's super nice, super clean. Love it.
Mhm.
Everybody come
And
here.
it's by appointment only, so you're not going to get creepers walking in, randos.
Yeah, it's a
randomly.
really chill environment.
Yeah. We love you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
And we love everybody out there that actually listened to this and stuck through it. We know it was tough. So thank you very much. We love you. Mwah.
See you
Like-
next Tuesday.
Don't be one.
Bye.
Bye.